Excuse all the boxes behind me. A bunch of you have been sending me messages about all the stuff that's on sale on Wiggle, and I bought it all. So now I've got a lot of parts, which means I need to build a lot of bikes. Welcome back to another video, and this is part 2 of my Swytch Bike video series. The first part was me kind of like building it and installing it onto the bike, which will be linked there, and this part is going to be more about the riding, kind of like what I think about the actual bike. The bike I love, we know that already. It's more about the actual Swytch Bike and kind of how much I like that. So I've been riding it now for almost 2 weeks now, including some bigger trips that will come in future videos. But I've been really impressed. Before we go into detail of that though, let's go look at the bike. So this is my Scott Sawtooth that I built in a previous video. The link will be on the display right now, or maybe even below. But I felt like it was the perfect bike for this kind of Swytch kit. This is the bike that I am currently commuting on, and any kind of bigger trips other than the shops, I use this one. I mentioned in the last video about the cabling that I still haven't quite worked that out. I still haven't quite worked that out. I still want to kind of like tidy up a little bit more and kind of make it look a bit better. There's a little bit of sag on the cable, or there's a little bit, it's quite long, so which you need so you can put it on any bike. But I need to find a good way of tidying that up. If you've got any ideas actually on that, put them in the comments below so I can check them out, and maybe I'll try that, because I haven't really worked it out yet. But apart from that, I'm pretty happy with it. But let's go back a couple of weeks to my first ever ride on the bike, and see how I liked it. Right then, first test with the Swytch kit. It's a bit chilly. And we're on. It's on medium right now. And when people ask me how much I like this bike, I'm going to show them this clip. It's definitely noticeably heavier on the front. When I started, kind of the wheel went a little bit, but that's just a case of getting used to it. I don't think it's necessarily a problem. It's the same if you had a big rack on the front. I've got a massive rack on one of my bikes, and if that's fully loaded, it swings a little bit, so I don't think that's a big deal. This is one thing I was worried about, was the fact that the controls were right up in front of you on the pack. A lot of e-bikes I've tried, they're on the handlebars, but as you can see from this, it's super easy to just reach and touch them, but at the same time you probably won't change the settings during the ride, so it's not a big deal. Well, that's part 1 of my ride done. I'm off to go see some friends now, and then we'll finish this up later. But so far so good. I've used a lot of the battery, but I did go the scenic route just so I could get some nice footage, and I was having way too much fun, so that may bite me in the arse later, who knows. Right then, time to head home. It has got dark and it is currently raining, so that's awesome. When I stopped, I had about half the battery left. It's now showing up saying about 3/4 full, so that's pretty cool. So I'm going to ride it the same way as I rode it here, pretty much full most of the way, and see how we get on. Now, I kind of almost wanted this to happen because I wanted to know what it'd be like without the battery. A lot of e-bikes and a lot of ones I've tried, and the one that I've reviewed previously, you don't want them to run out of battery. That's crazy heavy and it's going to be awful and you're going to have a really bad day. This, I've done probably a mile or so since the battery's gone, and I mean, you can definitely tell that there's weight there, but like no more than like a loaded rack. So it's not uncomfortable and I can continue riding home the rest of the way. I do have about 5 miles, so I wish I did charge the battery whilst I was out so I could get home, but that's because I'm being lazy, not because there's any issues with it, because it's fine. So that's exciting. And that was that. That was the first trip out on the Swytch Bike, and I was crazy impressed. I really liked the way it rode. It didn't make the bike feel much different to it did anyway. I mentioned in the video a couple of times about the fact that the biggest difference was the fact that it felt like you had a loaded rack, but not like crazy loaded, but just like one of the bigger racks. So it just felt that you just maneuvered it slightly different, which is not a big deal. The other thing is the actual battery itself. So it did run out on that trip. That trip was just over 20 miles, or just under, around about 20 miles. The battery that I have on my Swytch Bike is the Eco. This is rated for about 20 miles. That is on kind of, I think it's on the medium power. I think on full power it's a little bit less. So if anything, I got the best out of the battery that you could possibly get. So I'm pretty chuffed with that. As far as actually charging the battery, it takes around about 3 hours, maybe a little bit more than that. I've not actually timed it yet, but I think that's how much it's rated for. And the charger itself is this here. So it's like a laptop charger. It's really small, really light. So if you are going on for a bigger ride and maybe a longer ride, you can take that with you quite easily, charge it in a cafe or a restaurant or wherever you're meeting your mates, and you can get way more out of the battery with just a little charger in your backpack. Don't know why I paused saying that. But I think that's that. Like it's one of those weird things to talk about because I feel like there should be loads of details and loads of things to talk about it, but it's so simple to install, it's so simple to use when you're riding, and it's basically non-existent when you're riding. So it's the ultimate mod for your 90s bike. I'm not being paid to say that. I honestly mean that. It's wicked. I really like it. That's that. That's everything I've got to say about the bike. I love it. And I guess that's the end of another video. Moral of the story, I love this bike. It's really cool. I am going to do another video on this bike. The next video, I feel like the best way to test this is to let my biggest critic use it, which is my dad. My dad's a massive fan of cycling. It's why I'm a massive fan of cycling. So I figured he'd be the best person to try it out. And that'll be coming in the next video. You guys rinsed me clean of my Save Old Bike stickers recently, so I just got a few more arrived a couple of days ago. They're all the same colours currently, but I did do a poll on my Instagram and you guys said you wanted some orange ones. So if you've got another colour that you think would be good, put them in the comment below, or comment the colour in the comment below. Tell me what colours you'd like the stickers to be, and until they run out, and I've got a lot of them, these stickers here, these, you're going to focus, there you go, these stickers here are free with every order, so get them whilst I have them. The links, or that's the website, links below. see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Watch that video. That one is a particularly good one. I like that one. And see you in the next video.